let's take a look at your stock pick for today. What are you choosing?
So nothing new. I would like to talk about Google today, or Alphabet rather, which I think is a very well-known company, obviously, but one that shouldn't be forgotten, right? I think the US is obviously, there's been huge discussions for the last 2 years around valuations, and even with the pullback we've had this year, it is still a relatively expensive stock.
Yeah.
But it plays in that growth stock tech sector, so it's largely to be expected. But one I just like, it's got divisions across the board. I mean, the well-known stuff is YouTube, and the advertising potential there is obviously massive, and already huge revenues coming from that. You've got Google Cloud, you've got the exposure to AI, so just a huge business with exposure to all these different areas. And I mean, one thing I like to focus on is, in the early days, or not, well, we're still in the early days of AI, but we talked about AI being a huge risk to Google search.
Yes,
and I mean,
yes.
I think quite quickly you've seen Google adapt to that, right? They've got their own large language model in Gemini, and Google's just rolled that out. So
I actually love that.
Yeah, and it's actually quite an effective feature. So suddenly, it's an interesting point for me in terms of how a risk appears and can quite quickly disappear.
And can be an opportunity.
Exactly. So Google, I don't think, is going to lose control of the search market in the long term. Certainly competition is picking up in that space, and we'll have to see where that goes. But I think a dominant tech player, and one that's operating in a lot of the right spaces and sectors.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your analysis on what has moved investors' money today. That was Jordan Toy from Legacy Family Wealth.